Chaos Podcast. I'm Bobby Quarters. Chaos is here with me as well. We just wanted to thank you for watching.
Yes. Hey, Bobby.
And hey, and while you're here, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. You could follow me on YouTube as well as Chaos and the podcast channel, which all three of those channels will be streaming this very show you're about to watch. All these counselors start dropping dead, left and right. Heinous killings. Turns out, that kid who drowned the year before, his mother came back to that camp and exacted revenge.
I can't do it. Okay. We'll do it live.
Okay.
We'll do it live. Fuck it. Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live. Right. Fucking thing sucks.
Hello.
The fucking thing sucks.
It does. Oh my god. So since I was talking to you, Bobby, before the show, this cat who's normally just a pure chaos just decided to crawl up into my lap and just completely cuddle with me, and it is the cutest thing I've ever seen him do. I mean, he is just he's like a baby in my lap right now.
We have a co-host. I guess we have a co-host today. All right.
Yes. Well, he usually takes over the stream whenever I need to step out for some reason.
Well,
he's
of course,
dominating the stream.
As a good producer should, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Now I can't fix the monitor.
Yeah, well, Christmas has still exploded into my living room, so
oh my god,
I'm still cameless today.
So one of the shows we're watching, Star Trek Discovery, I was playing that while I was wrapping presents. This whole week has just been Christmas shopping, getting everything set up, and I'm finally at a point. There's a couple of last minute things I was thinking. But I was thinking they'd probably just be stocking stuffers. I think for the big stuff, I'm good.
Yeah, I feel like I'm good.
That's good. Yeah. But we got Star Trek Discovery. We got Lord of the Rings, War of the Rohirrim. I believe that's how you pronounce it. And then we also got Lower Decks, the final season.
Yeah,
it's sad that it's the final season. When Discovery ended, it's when they announced the end of Discovery, I was like, oh, but at the same time, I was like, yeah, no, I mean, Discovery's good, but it doesn't blow my mind. But okay. But then when they announced Lower Decks was going to be ending the same time, it's like, oh, I really like that one.
It's black as hell.
Yeah.
Because this season was really good.
Yeah.
All
the seasons are good, in my opinion.
Well, all of them were, but this one of Lower Decks was just really good.
True. But we will get to that towards the end. I guess are we ready to just roll right in?
Yeah, let's get on to it.
So our first movie is Lord of the Rings, War of the Rohirrim, War of the
or as I've been calling it, the Star Trek the Lord of the Rings movie, the one no one asked for.
Yeah, kind of. Of course, I don't know.
I mean,
here's what I will say. Upon watching it and sitting through it, my thoughts on this are, it's okay. I don't know.
Right.
I don't hate it. It's fine. I think it's definitely got good elements. Yeah, I would actually, I don't know. It's weird. So I would argue that's like a half hour too long, but that's also kind of how Tolkien does stuff. So I get why it's that long, but yeah. I mean, and this is the type of thing we're gonna get when Tolkien wrote the Lord of the Rings books, and then the Hobbit, and then all we have are like appendices and short stories for all the other stuff. He never wrote that. So we are getting these stories where people have to take a lot of liberties kind of with them. One of the most noteworthy here would be the main protagonist, Hera Hammerhand. Helm Hammerhand is a major character in the appendices and all that stuff. And it is in those appendices where it's revealed that he has a daughter who I don't believe is ever named or anything like that. Just he has a daughter. And they decided to flesh out that into a full-fledged character here. I mean, that's fine. I mean, again, we're dealing with appendices and short stories. There's not... When you deal with stuff like that, you have to take a lot of liberties. Because, like, especially when you're dealing with appendices, that's not a story. You can't, just tell that. It's not a story on its own. I guess going into the positives, I guess I will go ahead and say Helm Hammerhand in this is an absolute fucking badass. Holy shit.
Yeah, he was kind of fucking awesome.
Yeah, it starts with that dude being a dickhead, and he's like, "Go fight," and Helm's like, "We don't fight in here. I'll happily step outside." And the dude just starts slugging on him and gets some solid hits. Then Helm just gives him one, and he's dead.
just one punches him. It's still out in the kingdom, man.
Yeah,
damn.
Just not even. And then of course, the son seeks revenge after that, and it's almost like, dude, your dad was a dick. I'm sorry.
Your dad had that coming.
Yeah. Obviously Helm didn't intend to one-shot him like that, but his dad wanted a fight, and Helm gave him a fight, and fucking Helm didn't start the fight, but Helm finished it. But yeah, the story is kind of about his daughter, and his daughter is it's okay. Again, I don't dislike this movie, but I don't know if I like it either. It exists. And there's times actually I would say for the action in this, I really like the animation. There's almost an anime style to the animation, but there's also times where the animation feels a little clunky, where it's you could have done better
it feels like the background is going a certain way while the action and the movement is going a different way.
There are times where the backgrounds really distract me because they went with a CGI element with the semi photorealistic background. It kind of really threw me off. There were times where I actually thought they did a good job with it, with the chase scene where we can see it's tough to describe, but I thought they did a good job with that. But for the most part, the semi-realistic backgrounds with the anime figures felt a little off. It felt a little inconsistent.
It felt a little off to me too.
Mm-hmm. But I don't know. What are your thoughts about this, Bobby? Because like I said, I'm
yeah, I'm kind of on the fence with it too. I'm not that big of a Lord of the Rings fan or a Tolkien fan.
I would consider myself a moderate one. I've read the main books, but I haven't gone into
probably the most
stuff.
casual of fans that I would. I'm not even that, but I just barely know what I know from the movies, and I've maybe only seen each of them at least once or twice a piece, and that's it. And that's about the extent of my knowledge of them. So. I mean, there were parts of it that were cool. The story was fine. I had no issues with the lead. I liked all that. Brian Cox as the king was fucking great.
Oh yeah, no, I love the fact that he's trapped outside the castle and fighting the guards,
and
in
he
the
freezes
cold.
from an ice storm. Yeah, that's
he freezes
awesome.
to death. They don't even kill him. They can't even get past him. He just freezes to death. It's oh, that's what a fucking badass. And yeah, there are times like the wolf character was as the villain. I feel like they need to do something a bit more with him. Like, okay, so he's kind of a asshole kid from an asshole father. I get that, sure, that's a thing. But I don't know. Like even his lieutenant seemed to recognize, yeah, you're being a bit too much of an asshole. You realize that, right?
It kind of reminded me of Zuko from Avatar a little bit.
Yeah, except Zuko. Yeah, Zuko kind of came too. And I don't know about you, but like it's not him. But I remember listening to the voice and thinking, is that Kit Harington? Because it really
so many different times that I even had to check it several times while watching the movie.
Yeah.
I'm like, are you sure? Because that sounds like a fucking Jon Snow.
Yeah, it really sounds like Jon Snow, going for like evil Jon Snow. And I'm down for that. Okay, cool.
Yeah, I'm here for it.
But yeah, no, it was Luke Pasqualino. But like there are moments he really sounds like Jon Snow.
Like that or Rob Stark.
Yeah. I was really getting the Jon Snow vibe. But yeah,
I got both.
Well, no, Mikael, this is not an Amazon thing. This is Warner Brothers. So like it's weird. So Amazon has the rights to like the earlier era, like the Second Age stuff for Lord of the Rings, and then like the more modern, the more main Lord of the Rings stuff, Warner Brothers has the rights to. And this is just a Warner Brothers movie. And I will say, like, one of the elements of the animation that I really that I got from too is it kind of occasionally reminded me of almost like the what was it, Rance and Baskin animation Lord of the Rings they did like forever ago.
Sometimes
there were a couple vibes of that.
The battle sequences, especially, yeah.
Or I remember when she climbed up to get to the giant eagle, and that eagle gave me such that vibe as well.
That really, the eagle gave me like that. Oh God, I always butcher his name. The Howl's Moving Castle, Nagasaki, I think.
Oh, Miyazaki.
Yeah, Miyazaki. Thank you. Yeah, gave me that kind of vibe a little bit, but it's
But yeah,
the bird, just the giant creature.
Yeah,
but I know that's part of the lore. But yeah.
Oh God, yeah. But yeah, like I guess if you're looking for a big hyperbolic review, you're not gonna get it here. It seems like we're both kind of in agreement that this was like fine. Like I think if you twist my arm, I might say it's good, but like it didn't thrill me. So like I know Mikael kind of asked, so let me go ahead and so like Rings of Power takes place like 1,000 years before the main Lord of the Rings story, and this takes place like 200 years before it. My God,
the orcs are still collecting rings at this point.
Yeah,
which I'm like, because like when they said that, I was like,
that felt like such an Easter egg, and it's like you don't really need that.
And then at the end, they left to go see Gandalf, and it's like.
Yeah, it seems like they want to set this up to be a franchise. It's not going to be a franchise. This one's not doing particularly well. Of course, he didn't really advertise it, but I don't know. I get like kind of like the vibe they were going for because, I mean, Sony took a swing and did the Spider-Man animated universe since Marvel got a hand in the live action Spider-Man stuff that involves Spider-Man at least.
Yeah.
So Sony made their Spider-Man animated universe be separate. And I feel like they were kind of going for something like that. With the big difference being Sony, one of the few smart decisions Sony ever did was actually get like actual seriously creative people involved with that Spider-Man universe. Because that's a really cool universe. And this is fine, but like it doesn't. Nothing screams particularly unique about it. It's
it's very cut and dry. It's just very generic.
Yeah, it's and there are times where the animation I'm like, oh, that looks cool, and then there are times where I'm like, you could have done that better. And and I'm left like when I left the theater, it's not like I hated the experience of watching it. I also don't know if I'll ever watch it again. But like,
I hated that the
was
only
fine.
showtime that was available was so late that it was like 1 a.m. when I got out of the theater.
That sucks. Yeah, no,
that I didn't care about.
I had like 5 showings when I went, which was yesterday. So I had a bit more variety.
Man, there was only 2, like 8, 10 in the morning, and I had gotten in late with the wife, so I knew I wasn't going to be able to get up for an 8 in the morning movie.
Yeah.
But yeah. Or 10:30 at night for a 2.5 hour movie.
That's the thing. So like, yeah, well, there's the dad. Yeah, he was an asshole. The elephant, they did some cool stuff with the elephant, but yeah, and that was completely like that fucking sea creature that ate the elephant. It was like, oh, the fuck.
Yeah, that was pretty awesome.
Yeah, I was like, damn, we're going kind of anime with this shit. I'm kind of down. I get out the live action stuff. But yeah, if you're looking for like big decisive thoughts on this, here's what I will say. If you are a massive fan of Lord of the Rings and you just love all this, then I don't even know why you're waiting for my recommendation. You've probably already seen this. If you haven't seen it on your own, probably not worth it. I don't think you're missing anything. If you're kind of interested, maybe stream it when it comes to streaming. That's probably what I'd say is a good recommendation for this. I recommend this for streaming. Does that sound good for you, Bobby?
Yeah, wait till it comes on a streaming platform.
Yeah, which will probably be soon because it's not doing particularly well.
Yeah, this is definitely one that, you get together with some friends and you could even have a good time just genuinely watching it or riffing it.
Oh, yeah.
Because there's plenty of funny stuff.
There's some moments here where I'm like, and
there's some
other moments where I'm like,
that
was actually badass. Okay.
and genuinely make you laugh.
Yeah.
I mean, my theater was small. There was just me and 2 other people.
Yeah, there was a couple in there with me and that. Yeah. And
Yeah.
It was fine. I guess anything you want to add before we I guess we'll move on to Discovery?
Yeah, let's get on to the Star Trek Discovery.
All right. Yeah, I guess we're on to the Star Trek part of the stream because
Yes.
it's just Star Trek from here on in.
Yes,
so
it is.
we're covering the middle part of season 4. Which I mean, I'm pretty much on board with this. I guess getting into this story, the main story is essentially we have this thing, a dark matter anomaly, a DMA, that is essentially just wrecking planets. And the most noteworthy planet that destroyed was Quajon, which is where Cleveland Booker, the captain's boy toy, is. That's where he's from. So he's not thrilled with the dark matter anomaly. But meanwhile, we have we're just forming the Federation, and there's the the Federation's instinct is to go out and try to seek a diplomatic solution, figure out what this thing is exactly. Whereas Booker, the Captain Squeeze, his more thought processes, let's just get rid of it. And we get reintroduced because I'm trying to remember. I know we saw him earlier, though. I think we saw him in the prison colony, maybe. But the scientist, Tarka, I want to say, Tarka. Okay, he's been studying this thing, and he's gotten the closest to understanding it, and he's ready to destroy it so he can get back home because apparently he's from a different universe and he needs a power source to get back home. So both him and Booker kind of end up forming this uneasy alliance going after this thing, while everybody else is trying to make contact and make peace with this a new species that appears to be insanely advanced. But yeah, what are your thoughts, Bobby?
I think maybe I'm having a little bit too high of expectations for what I want this show to be.
Yeah.
And each season I get this, and I'm just slowly, just slightly disappointed each time as we've gone through it so far.
Mm-hmm.
I
mean, I guess I can see that. Like, I like Discovery, but I don't think it ever quite reached its true potential, at least as far as I've seen. I haven't seen the last season yet.
Yeah, and
I
I've seen this done in Star Trek so many times now. It's just kind of, how many episodes are we going to spend on this? Oh, it's a whole season arc. Wonderful.
Well, that's something Discovery did. Picard was actually the worst at that.
Yeah,
because Discovery would sometimes throw in there kind of a one-off episode. It's so weird thinking back to old school Star Trek and like Deep Space Nine. Deep Space Nine was seen as being fairly serial when that was on.
Yeah.
But looking at it now, especially the way TV's gone, that is incredibly episodic.
Yeah.
I think an argument can be made that Strange New Worlds is more serial than Deep Space Nine.
I'd agree.
And even then, Strange New Worlds got praised for being a much more episodic Star Trek than we've gotten before. And frankly, I love that. I know one of the issues with Strange New Worlds, the issues the producers have, is that they want to make more episodes every season because they want to do some filler shit. And essentially, the studio is saying, no, you can get up to 10. You can have less, but you can't have more. And they're like, fuck. And I'm like, I kind of agree with the creatives, man. Do some filler stuff. Fuck. Have some fun with it.
I would like to see that crew do that because we've seen them kind of do it before.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's more filler in Strange New World than in Discovery, which I like because like there will be storylines, but like a lot of the episodes will stand on their own for the most part. And it's like, I like that. It used to be a time period where I was more into the serial stuff, but as we've gone through, I'm kind of getting to the other end where I'm like, okay, marginal serialization is fine, but like I'm missing episodic storyline. I'm missing going in, watching an episode and having that just be kind of the story in and of itself. I'm missing that in TV. And even Discovery used to do that a bit more. I feel like while each episode has its own kind of story, it's all building into the main storyline here. Now, I don't know. I overall like the storyline. I like the conflict with Book and Tarka. I think everybody has kind of reasonable issues going into this. Yeah, I mean, again, I guess going back to the other argument that I do wish we had more episodic stuff, but no, we'll get into Lower Decks soon. But yeah, this is kind of the middle chapter where we're seeing we saw them meet up and then actually resolved kind of at a good cliffhanger where Tarka and Book were able to sneak. Well, I say Book. But essentially, they had figured out that the dark matter anomaly would be where it's at for a week with nowhere else to go. They essentially figured out it's a mining device by this hyper advanced civilization. Probably doesn't realize they're plowing down worlds, and it's in an uninhabited part of space. It'll be there for a week, and they talked Book into let's just give this 6 days, and then if we get desperate, we can just blow it up then. And Book was like, okay. And Tarka was like, fuck that, and blew it up.
Yeah.
Of course, I don't think anybody on Discovery knows that actual dynamic because Book just essentially Book agreed. And then it looks like they just did it anyway. It was just like, oh, that looks really bad. But yeah, so the captain and her boyfriend have relationship issues for sure. I don't know. I think it's interesting, but
some trust and boundary issues to begin with.
Yeah. I think it's overall interesting. I think it's kind of a cool storyline, but I get what you're saying, Bobby. I do, because
yeah.
I miss Star Trek just being like a couple filler episodes. Come on.
And just when they try and sidetrack it, sometimes some
Mhm.
of the side stuff has even just been kind of, oh gosh, yawn. We're doing
Well,
this
that's the
again. We
problem.
just did this in the last episode with you, and we're doing it
Yeah, well,
again in this one.
but that's the thing that will sometimes drive me insane because like there's kind of filler episodes here, but they feel the need to make the filler episodes play into the main storyline when it's kind of unnecessary. I think Stormy Weather was kind of an episode that felt like that to me, where it's like,
It really bothered me in that one.
yeah, are we going anywhere with this? Yeah, that one felt like they weren't really going anywhere particularly quickly. I mean, they were exploring Zora, which is like the computer that has gained sentience on Discovery, which is kind of an interesting thing going on. So we have a computer gaining sentience on Discovery while they're also trying to understand this new alien. I'm figuring it's been a while since I've seen this, but I'm figuring at some point that will come into play. That those two are kind of similar things. But yeah, I like the storyline, but again, yeah, I get what Bobby's saying because I kind of miss more episodic stuff. Anything you want to add, Bobby?
No.
Okay. Well, I mean, we're banging this out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This one was a bit of a rough watch for me, and I know that we're gonna have to do more of it. But this time, it just, I don't know what it was. This time, it just really got to me watching it.
Mm-hmm. Well, we got like one more. Well, I think we got like a couple weeks till we finish off season 4, and then we'll finish off, and then we'll go through season 5 before we do before section 31 comes out.
And is that like a continuation of this, or?
Section 31 is a spinoff following Giorgio. So like I guess it would be a spinoff where we left her off in season 3. That'd be my guess.
Okay.
Which I don't know. I'm always up for more Michelle Yeoh. So let's do it.
Yeah.
That brings us to the final season of Lower Decks. Which is as much as I love Strange New Worlds, this is still my favorite of the current run of Star Trek series. How they managed to just do something so like goofy and funny, but like still like kind of lovingly pay respect to Star Trek, I kind of love. Yeah, I'm just going through some of the episodes. I think Fission Quest probably has to be, or Fissure Quest probably. Yeah, Fissure Quest probably has to be my favorite of this bunch. But yeah, I liked all these.
Yeah, I liked all of them too.
Mm-hmm. I mean, the beginning, you know, there's storylines here too, but like a lot of this is kind of episodes, and they do this the clever way. So like, yeah, a lot of these episodes play into the main storyline, but it's not obviously playing into the main storyline. I've seen enough of this stuff to catch on to stuff because like there was a point where they kept on being like, oh wow, we're getting really skilled at doing this multiverse stuff. You know, we're getting pretty skilled about it. And it's like, yeah, I bet you that's gonna be part of the main storyline, isn't it? Because yeah, Cerritos keeps on getting called to deal with multiverse stuff. And you better bet they think of ways to bring in some cameos involving the multiverse. I guess before we spoil the shit out of that, I guess Bobby, broadly, what are your thoughts on this season?
I really enjoyed this one. This was a really
Yeah.
great season. Very hilarious. I'm going through here and I'm trying to think what were some of my favorite episodes of this season. I really enjoyed Starbase 80.
Yeah, that was a fun one.
Shades of Green. I like that one.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, well I like well, it begins with the storyline with Tendi rejoining the Orion Pirates, but her just wanting to go back to Starfleet. So the first like 2 episodes I want to say are her being a pirate. While the other lower deckers are just doing their regular stuff, and she's just doing the pirate stuff, trying to get back to being the lower decker people. And yeah, she eventually pulls that off because she really wants it, and everybody's like, yeah, just go. Yeah, and yeah, and her I do think Tendi is kind of a really fun character because Orions are pretty much just pirates, pretty much across the board. Even when they claim not to be a pirate, they're pretty much a pirate, and she's just the one who's like the nerdy science officer, who also happens to be a pretty good pirate if she puts her mind to it, but it's not what she prefers to do.
But it
did
has
like
gotten
seeing,
her and saved her and the crew a few times.
yeah, I did like actually seeing her as a pirate for a couple episodes. That was kind of fun. Yeah, just overall, this was oh yeah, God, I like the episode where they go to I think it was the Best Exotic Nanite Hotel, where they go to the planet that just abandoned capitalism. And it was just like, oh, awesome. It's like, yeah, they've reached a post-scarcity society, so no capitalism. And literally people are just burning money in the streets. They are just done with it. It's like, oh, that looks awesome. I want to live there.
Yeah, that one was pretty funny. What was it? There was one that we got a Moopsie reference.
Yeah, I like you brought that up before the stream. I was like, there was a Moopsie reference, but I'm having trouble remembering.
I forget which
there was something about
but they were like, yeah, at least they're not drinking our bones.
Yeah, there was some creature drinking bones or something. Maybe it was in Fissure Quest. Maybe they found a creature.
No, there was like these giant things that were in like this, like a body of water or something on a ship. Maybe it might have been fully dilated.
Maybe. I'm trying to remember, but yeah, I guess fully. Oh yeah, that's where they go to the. Yeah, okay, so that's fully dilated is where they go to the pre-warp civilization undercover. It's the girl.
They find Data.
Yeah. They find Data's head. Purple Data's head.
Yeah,
I do. Sorry, Cat was somewhere he was not supposed to be. But yeah, it ends up being was it Talana? I want to say is the Vulcan. Who's awesome. I wish that's the only reason why this series need more seasons. Talana pretty much feels like just joined the cast, and she's like, I feel like we needed more of her.
she
but
was
Talana,
hilarious.
I love having a Vulcan as part of the group because everybody else is just such nerds, and the Vulcans is pure.
The deadpan,
awesome.
the deadpan of the Vulcan was just fucking beautiful.
Well, I mean, I guess like they would just bring in other people, but it's like, yeah, how have they gone this long without really a straight man in the group? Because yeah, everybody, all the main people are kind of just goofballs. It kind of made sense to add a straight man.
It might have been Starbase 80.
Maybe. But yeah, there was something about some creature eating bones. It's like, oh. But yeah, the episode fully dilated where they go undercover. Oh yeah, it's Tendi, Mariner, and Talana. And it's in one of those planets we've encountered this before in Star Trek. A planet where 1 second on the ship is a week on the planet. So they like Boimler and fucking Rutherford. They beam them down while they're like doing like this like fiesta like salsa and shit. The second they beam them down, they fucking get shit all over the transport controls, and they're urgently trying to clean it off as fast as possible. While the girls are just they end up spending like 6 months there or something like that. And it's like, Jesus Christ, guys. And you know, these are the smartest guys we have. This is why they were taking off their shirt and wiping it off and trying to eat it as they electrocute them. Yeah. This is the best and brightest Starfleet has to offer, guys.
Absolutely,
that was a fun episode, and it was fun because we essentially got Data in that one. It's not quite Data; it's a purple Data. But it's always fun to get Brent Spiner in there. And he was working with Tendi because that was the episode where Tendi and Talana were kind of competing for the job of chief science officer. And like Talana wasn't really competing; she just applied for it, and then Tenny was like, "But I want it. We're competing." And yeah, Data kind of was like, "Yeah, relax. Maybe you're both really good." But yeah, there's some good ones. I guess we could get into my favorite one, but it's going to involve spoilers. Because I'm talking about Fisher Quest. This episode was so much fun. So this season deals with multiversal stuff. And this one actually doesn't have any of our main cast. Well, kind of does, but doesn't. This one stars the transporter clone of Boimler, William Boimler. The name he chose because he's trying to suck up to Riker. I mean, pay homage to Riker. But yeah, the crew was and they're all multiversal variants. It's like his crew was Curzon Dax, T'Pol. They eventually come across another Mariner, Chief Medical Officer Elam Garrick, and then Elam Garrick's husband, Hologram Bashir, which making a billion Star Trek fans happy with that one. Which hey, awesome. I'm down for it. And I forgot the most important member of the crew. In fact, they're in the image. So we find out that one of the people they bring on board is Lieutenant Kim. And they're like, "Oh my God, it's another Harry Kim." And he's like, "What? You have other Harry Kims?" And they're like, "Yeah, most of the crew is actually Harry Kim."
Yeah.
But here's the deal: all of the rest of the crew are Ensign Harry Kim. And he's like, "Wait, you guys weren't promoted?" And they're like, "No, we never got promoted." He's like, "How have you never got promoted? All the shit we went through, your Janeways didn't promote you?" And they're like, "No." And he's like, "What the fuck?" And like, yeah, you just get this ongoing joke. And honestly, as the Star Trek nerd who always thought it was ridiculous Harry was never promoted after all the shit he went through on Voyager, when Tom Paris can get a field promotion to lieutenant and then get demoted to ensign and then get his field promotion of lieutenant back while Harry is just an ensign the whole fucking time. Yeah, it's one of those things where it's like, the fuck is wrong with you, Janeway? Are you Yeah, I have to assume Janeway's purposely fucking with him at this point, right? But it kind of ended up making sense because like Lieutenant Kim ended up with a massive chip on his shoulder and tried to take over the mission and cause some chaos. But yeah, it was just such a fun episode. Oh yeah, and we also the other cameo we got was Lily, essentially the co-inventor of the warp drive with Zephyr Cochrane. But yeah, this was like there's so much stuff involving multiverses, and Lower Deck season 5 did multiverse stuff, but like it was so much fun just seeing all this weird and crazy crap. I was down for it. And and the final episode was the lead up from Fisher Quest, where essentially they realized they had to pick a dimension to put all the bad shit into and hope they'd be able to deal with it. And then William Boimler said, "Do it to my dimension. They can handle it." And of course he does it, and he sends information to the Boimler there, and our Boimler is like, "The fuck are we doing? What? No, we're not prepared for this. Don't do this." But yeah, no, and it turns to an adventure. I will say, I thought the final episode was fine, but didn't blow my mind. It did bring the main story together, though. And there is definitely a tease for more, which I would like to see. I guess it's weird. I don't have a whole lot to say on the final. Is there anything you want to say about the final episode, Bobby? Because
no, I enjoyed the final episode. I liked.
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
How it kind of definitely teased for like maybe a spinoff.
Yeah.
Or something, but
yeah, it sets up the Cerritos with Captain Jack Ransom, and like Mariner and Boimler serving as co-first officers, which is like kind of insane. But I don't know, knowing Ransom, it kind of I can see him doing something like that too. If
Well, they're also
Starfleet
the
would
two
allow
best
it.
people for the job.
Yeah, true, and they work well together despite being absolute insanity.
And bearded Boimler, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, God, it took a while for that beard to grow, and finally it grew, and I was like, okay, it looks fine now. But God, for a while I was like, Jesus Christ.
I'm happy they
that's
did
not
lean
looking
into
good,
that
bro.
joke all season.
Yeah.
That was pretty funny.
Yeah, how it was growing in was like, oh, it's not looking great. And like Rutherford, like one episode, he's like, he misses shaving it. It's like already he's got a nice, like, even, like, 5 o'clock shadow. And Boimler's like, how'd you do that? And Rutherford's like, I forgot to shave. Yeah, I'm gonna miss this crew, honestly. Like, these are just fun characters, and hopefully we get to see something else with them. Maybe we'll get a spin-off movie or something, but
hopefully.
Yeah. Yes, anything you want to add?
No.
Okay. I guess that's it for this week. Little abbreviated episode, maybe to make up for the fact that I know and it sounds like Bobby have been fucking exhausted with Christmas stuff.
Yes,
and we are taking next week off from the podcast, but does not mean you're not getting a new episode, guys, because I actually have a new episode in the can. If you notice, we skipped a number, and it's because episode 179 is the Baby Metal concert album ranking and review. I put all the footage together. It was over an hour, and I said, you know what? Fuck it. That's an episode. We'll take a week off, and I will release that on the podcast channel. I'll post links on the main channel about it. It will be coming out pretty much this time next week. And then we do have, I think we have a bit bigger of a podcast planned for next week, or not next week, 2 weeks. If I can dig it up, hold on. Because I wasn't planning to do anything. I know I add one thing last minute because I was like, fuck it, we'll just that's right. It was the Doctor Who Christmas special. So we'll have What If Season 3, Sonic the Hedgehog 3, Doctor Who Christmas special, and then maybe Squid Game Season 2 or part of Season 2. Listen, I'll be honest, I've been trying to keep an eye on it. I have no idea what the release schedule is for Squid Game Season 2. It looks like 2 episodes so far. So we'll probably talk a little bit about it, but I don't know how far we're going to get into that. But yeah, that's the plan for January 6th, which will be the next time we'll be live with the podcast. I will be live briefly. Well, not briefly, but tomorrow I'll be live for I'll be live for my solo stream where I will talk about comic books. And then I was thinking, you know what? Let's do a podcast thing on stream and just have some fun on Christmas Eve. I was thinking I'll go ahead and stream and watch 1979's TV movie Captain America, and we'll see if they take down the stream or not. But I've never seen it. It sounds awful. It sounds like a fun thing to do for the holiday. I'll watch that. And you guys can watch it with me. We can all suffer together. So we'll do that tomorrow. And then that will be it for the most part until let me bring up the calendar. I'm taking most of the next week off. Let's see. I'm thinking we'll probably start doing regular schedule stuff. Probably the big time where we'll start doing when I'll start doing regularly scheduled stuff will probably be the next podcast on the January 6th, the next live podcast. Like I said, we're getting it's a pre-recorded podcast coming out next week.
Yes.
But the one exception will be this Saturday on the 28th. We'll be doing another Star Trek stream. This will be on the entirety of the Lower Decks series. So we'll talk more about Lower Decks and we'll have some fun. But yeah, that's the plan. hoping to get some videos out during that time though. So there I will have plenty of editing in my future. But yeah, you guys, I anything you want to add, Bobby, before we officially sign out?
No, just hope everyone has a nice, fun,
have a
safe,
good
happy
Christmas,
holidays.
happy
Yeah.
holidays. Yeah, whatever you celebrate, have a good one.
And have a very fun, safe New Year. Don't drink and drive. If you're out and
Yes.
drinking, get an
Yeah.
Uber or a cab.
Yes.
Or call a friend.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just have a safe holiday. Have happy
Oh,
holidays.
and to be, yeah, 200 Cigarettes is a pretty decent New Year's Eve movie. It's all right.
I've never seen it, so
it's okay.
I wonder where Elam is. He's a very sneaky cat. I can never
There's
find him.
New Year's Eve movies. You could technically
Well,
still say Trading Places is a New Year's Eve movie.
I was about ready to say I frequently watch Trading Places, which it is a New Year's Eve movie, but I believe it like takes place from like Thanksgiving to New Year's or something like that. But like New Year's is definitely involved with that. It ends on New Year's.
It ends on New Year's. Yeah. There's a horror movie called New Year's Eve, like a 70s slasher one that's campy.
Mm-hmm. That sounds like fun.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can't think of any other New Year's Eve movies.
Yeah, there's probably a few, but I guess until tomorrow. Bobby, have a happy holiday. And
you
then
too,
you guys can see me tomorrow when I stream comic books and old Captain America movie. And then so yeah. Party on and be excellent to each other.
Take care.
Try to stay